This year alone, you may not have noticed, but luxury watches have surpassed Bitcoin and classic automobiles as the most sought-after investment opportunity. And although prices for some of these timepieces may have dropped after the historic crypto meltdown, they're still pretty much ahead of what they were back in 2019. In June of 2022, for instance, many watches were auctioned off by houses, which raised the overall sale of timepieces at auctions alone to over 19 million in revenue for Sotheby's, 20 million for Christie's, and 30 million for Philips. Now that's quite a bit of revenue. Hodinkee, a wristwatch publication, called this year's New York Spring Watch auction season as, and I quote, the most successful spring watch auction season ever. Hey there folks, and welcome back to Econify. Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel because we got a lot in store just for you. Alright guys, today we're gonna find out which are the top 7 watches to look out for if you're thinking of investing. Stick around till the end of the video and let us know what you think in the comments down below. So without further ado people, let's roll. There's a lot of promising new releases this year, especially from the rising stars among some of the independents. But it's tough to say which models will sell well and which won't. With that in mind folks, let's get started on the top 7 watches you can invest in now. Number 7 on the list is the Omega Seamaster 300 meters. Since its first debut in 1993, the Seamaster Professional Diver 300 meters has maintained its status as an all-time classic, and modern Omega watches feature some of the company's most groundbreaking innovations. This 42mm watch is made of stainless steel and has a black ceramic Seamaster 300 bezel with a white animal diving scale and rhodium-plated hands coated in vintage Super Luminova. Although the dial is black, the skeleton heads and raised indexes have been plated in gold and filled with white Super Luminova. The watch has a power reserve of 55 hours. The movement, an anti-magnetic Omega Master coaxial caliber 8400, is pretty visible through the transparent case in the back of the watch. According to Lloyd Ampson, co-founder of Watchfinder, if you want to invest in a brand whose value is increasing faster than any other brand, the Omega Seamaster James Bond model would be the best place to start. What's more, the Quartz Seamaster, which is being phased out in the near future, may still be found if watch collectors seek hard enough. So you'll probably make some extra cash from it, more than the buying price, if you decide to sell it, that is. Moving on to number 6, we've got the Lange and Söhne Zeitwerk Minute Repeater. In November of 2021, the demand for products by German company Lange und Söhne was quite higher than their available supplies. So when it became clear that their Lange watches may fetch high prices at an auction, their current owners of course celebrated. The Zeitwerk Minute Repeater is a timepiece that is a good choice for an investment. Why is that, you say? This mechanical wristwatch has got the first ever jumping numerals and decimal minute repeater, so it's sort of among the rarest watches ever made by the manufacturer. Surprisingly, this white, gold, and blue version is limited to just a little over 30 pieces. Well, it is important to keep in mind that the limited annual production of Lange timepieces makes them rather elusive items. Now that's the likely factor that contributes to the increasing cost of their timepieces. Hodinkee estimates the cost of this luxury piece to be close to $500,000 US, so buyers beware. At number 5, there's the Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso Grande Complication à Triptyque. The Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso is quite an extraordinary high-end timepiece, notable due to its reversible case. Introduced in 1931, the watch was developed after a polo player expressed a need for a durable timepiece that could endure the rigors of the sport. Pretty sleek if you ask me. This Jaeger-LeCoultre timepiece is still one of the brand's best sellers. The fact that this watch has had such a long-lasting impact on the industry, despite seeing relatively few design changes, speaks volumes. For instance, this collection's first watch to feature 3 dials is the Reverso Complication Triptyque, which has been one of their best over the years. The unique luxury watches in the Reverso collection are investments in themselves. Looking at its price on the market, this watch is going to cost you more than $75,000. At least that's what Sotheby says. Coming in at number 4, we have the Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch. In case you didn't know, folks, Buzz Aldrin wore an Omega Speedmaster professional watch, as he made history in 1969 by being the second man to walk on the moon. Many watch experts and aficionados have since given the watch the name Moonwatch, and NASA has used it for every manned space trip since then. For this reason, Omega collaborated with rival watchmaker Swatch in 2021 to release the Moonswatch, a younger, more inexpensive version of this watch that retails for around $300. The Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch's launch was met with lengthy lines and widespread interest on social media, solidifying the brand's reputation and the product's continued popularity. On the other hand, Omega's Moonwatch can cost you anywhere from between $6,300 to $52,000, as stated on the company's official website. Number 3. Audemars Piguet Royal Oak. For folks who understand and admire luxury antique watches, a vintage Audemars Piguet Royal Oak watch fetched more than $1 million at an auction in May 2022. Now that is huge. In addition, Audemars Piguet, a prestigious watchmaker, had its sales increase by 30.3% to $1.6 billion in the previous fiscal year. That price hike put the brand on par with Patek in terms of financial might. It's clear that Audemars Piguet is a watchmaker to keep an eye on, as the company's shares could appreciate significantly in the future. So why not hop on and join the moving train, or should I say the moving watch? In particular, the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak collection is worth noting. The watch, which had an octagonal bezel and a band that folded into itself, made its debut in 1972. It's a pretty good watch to invest in. The Hodinkee store lists pre-owned Royal Oak watches at $27,000. Moving on, folks, we're down to the last 2. Which do you think is your favorite? I already got mine if you want to know. Let's look at number 2, the Patek Philippe Nautilus. In 2022, when Americans finally began to see the financial possibilities of Swiss timepieces, Patek Philippe and its renowned Nautilus 5711 1A wristwatch were at the top of many wish lists. The Patek Philippe Nautilus is a sporty high-end steel watch that debuted in 1976 and has since been called the most sought watch in the world by various publications. It's also very beautiful too. The face of this unusual watch has been horizontally engraved, and the case is shaped like a distinctive octagon. Even celebrities like Leonardo DiCaprio have waited up to 10 years for it and have worn it on numerous red carpets. However, this year, Patek Philippe announced on their website that they would no longer produce the iconic timepiece. Even though it was a sad goodbye, it did increase the value of the watch. The auction in December of 2021 brought in $6.5 million for the timepiece, and the estimated price at Sotheby's is around $53,000. Now that's quite the discrepancy. And finally, at number 1, we've got Rolex, the undisputed king of luxury watches, the Rolex Submariner. After the introduction of the Oyster in 1926, the Rolex Submariner quickly became one of the most popular divers watches on the market. It is water resistant to a depth of 100 meters or 330 feet. Redesigned and somewhat larger in size than its forerunners, the Submariner marked a turning point in the industry, by making it possible to operate in water depths of up to 300 meters or 1,000 feet. Their 41mm oyster cases, unique dials with huge luminescent hour markers, unidirectional rotating bezels with Cerachrome inserts, and oyster bracelets are all nods to the original design, while also allowing the current generation of submariners and submariner dates to stand out. This watch makes it simple to tell the time while diving by using large hour and minute hands and straightforward shapes for the hour markers. Rolex is the ultimate luxury watch brand. The Submariner and its steel sport watches are a surefire investment. Even though luxury watches are generally intended for personal use and enjoyment, the number of people looking to capitalize on their value as an investment has risen sharply over the past decade or so. The current market, however, has shown us that the cost of certain wristwatches can drop significantly. Does that rule out the possibility of making money by investing in watches? By no means. If you want to succeed, what I'll say is invest in a few timepieces, so you can be a collector while still having fun. And who knows, maybe their value will increase over time. Alright guys, we've reached the end of our top 7 luxury watches that you can purchase now to invest in. You can leave a comment telling us what you think and if you've ever considered buying any of these watches. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Econify. Until the next time folks, keep enjoying the finer things in life, and I'll catch you in the next video.